Welcome to another different kind of Nonsense Wars production. Today we play the now vintage game LEGO LOCO, which came out for PC in 1998. Both of us had played this game before, but probably not since it came out, so it was perhaps nostalgic and new at the same time. The game runs at a maximum resolution of 1280 by 1024, so apologies if the screen capture quality isn't the greatest. Unlike some of the other LEGO software of this era, LOCO installed and ran on Windows 7 64-bit, though we still had to set compatibility to 9598. The game, of course, loads with a somewhat lengthy cutscene before dumping you at a very plain main menu. You can choose one player or two player, and loading a one-player game for the first time brings you to a demo map like shown. LOCO is a pure sandbox game with absolutely no progression or objectives. There are no tutorials either. You have to figure out how to play, perhaps appropriate, or perhaps a sign of the times. The game does come with an instruction manual detailing practically all of the game's features. Nonetheless, you can access help menus in most UI elements. Each tooltip has a description of the thing in question and shows the conductor minifig talking. He only speaks gibberish though, a stark contrast to the full voice acting of the Cybermaster software. To modify your layout, click on the toy box icon. Inside there are two loosely grouped menus. The button in the top half lets you build track, sidewalk, roads, buildings, and scenery. The eraser erases individual elements, and the bomb erases all elements. The buttons in the bottom half let you save load, change window mode, change volume, change background, and change the building mode. The alternative building mode deletes elements under new elements, otherwise you have to explicitly erase them. When you close the toy box, you can run some trains. One of the special track pieces is the depot, inside which you can create a train, edit it, delete it, or run it. Unfortunately, despite the game's name, there aren't a lot of train options. You get to choose between three locos, the freight rail runner, the Metroliner, or a generic-looking steamer not from a set. Similarly, there are only a couple freight and passenger car options, and the passenger cars are the same thing in different colors. To top it all off, trains can only have 3 cars at max. I was most disappointed that you can't even get the cargo railway engine, which is most prominently displayed on the game's cover art. Train controls are very simple. They can run forward and backward at low speed or high speed. All trains have the same performance characteristics. You can run multiple trains and they will just go wherever they go. If they collide, they will change directions. This actually means that if a fast train collides with a slow train going in the same direction, they both reverse. The red target button returns trains back to their originating depot. Aside from the depot, there are some other special track elements as well. There are switches, all manual, that allow trains to change tracks, bridges that allow trains to cross over tracks without colliding, level crossings for paths and for roads, and tunnels that go at the edge of the map and basically act as turnarounds. There is also the post office and a very special kind of tunnel, both of which have more relevance in multiplayer mode. Multiplayer is the only other option on the main screen. You can choose to host or connect, and you can apparently only use a TCP connection. I don't know if other options would show if you had different hardware. The hoster determines the size and shape of the network, and a network game can support up to 9 players, each of whom can choose which map area they want to play. Unfortunately, I don't have any screen capture of the client machine, but you do need to know the host IP. When you start a multiplayer session, you get a tiny layout ending in a blue tunnel. If you haven't figured it out yet, the blue tunnels go into the other sections of the network map. Now we can look inside the post office, where you can make postcards with the crudest image editor I've ever seen. All you get are a variety of clip arts that you can spam in the work area. The background graphics don't even tile automatically. You can change the canvas color, but there is no drawing tool, and the erase tool also operates object by object. On the back of the postcard, you can write a prohibitively short note, address it to one of your multiplayer buddies, and ultimately drop it in the mailbox. Once your post office has mail for pickup, a train with a mail car can take it to one of your friend's maps. Mail cars have a different sprite when carrying mail. On the flip side, trains from your friend's maps can drop off mail at your post office, after which you can read your friend's letters and either discard them or save them to your scrapbook. It's even possible to attach files to postcards, though it is very easy to overlook attachments and throw them out with no way of recovering them. In this somewhat more built-up layout, we can see some of the other functional elements in LOCO. One of the track elements I haven't covered are the signals, which can be very useful in managing train flow, especially when you have trains randomly entering your layout from your friend's layouts. Signals can be green, blue, or red for go, stop, or reverse, and like the switches, they can only be changed manually. There is absolutely no automation in LOCO. Building houses and sidewalks will generate minifigs who will eventually visit your stations and ride your trains. You can get a wide variety of minifigs with different names and sounds, but just like the conductor helper, nothing is actually voiced, and they all speak gibberish. Oddly enough, passengers won't transfer to your friend's layouts. If you send them into the multiplayer tunnel, they just disappear. You can also build roads, and a lot of buildings have road connections, but they won't spawn cars at all, as far as we can tell. Some of the buildings also have moving bits, none of which seem to have any functional purpose. Finally, there are a number of buildings with Easter eggs, and LEGO even explicitly advertises such in the manual. If you place certain buildings next to or around one another, they will combine into special buildings like this shuttle or this robot. It's a very late 90s sort of feature, if you ask me. And that's literally all the features in the game. It's ultimately very simple, but you could definitely make some very complicated and even beautiful layouts, and there are some decent examples included with the game. Still, without scenarios or objectives, I feel that the gameplay could get a little stale fairly quickly, though my biggest gripe is actually the lack of train variety. This game is called LEGO LOCO and not LEGO Layout, so I feel like more emphasis should have been given on the trains and less on the mail or the buildings or even the Easter eggs. It would be fun to drive like 10-car trains or even pick up and deliver cargo. On that note, this is the end of the video, so have a nice day.